Okay, now let me come to one of the embedded specific design, that is the automotive domain specific embedded system. So as we all know nowadays, whatever the cars are available in the market, all our functionalities will work based on the sensors. Okay, so in this automotive field, there are many things can be done in a automation car, like the major application domains of embedded systems are consumer, industrial, automotive, telecom, etc. Now now what is this automotive embedded system is? So in this case, whatever we have the electronic things, electronics will take care over the mechanical systems. Like for example, if I want to have switch on my wiper, that will be done by electronic thing, that will be controlled by the electronic thing. If airbags wants to get open, that will be controlled by the electronic. And even though anti brake system is also controlled by the electronic things. Now in this case, these automatic embedded systems are normally built around microcontrollers or DSPs. I told you in the last class what do you mean by DSP, digital signal processing, are a hybrid of two and are generally known as electronic control units, ECUs. Now, when I come to a normal ordinary vehicle or ordinary cars, we can see some around of 20 to 40 embedded controllers will be there inside the car. But when I go with a class Mercedes class kind of cars or BMW kind of cars, we can see some around of 100 embedded controllers will be there in those type of cars. If I go with some other kind of cars, we can see many more kind of embedded controls may also be present in those kind of cars. So what I can tell is that today's world, all these automotive things will be controlled by the embedded systems. For example, our airbag opening, mirror control, wiper control, temperature control, AC control, everything will be done by the automotive embedded systems. Now, when I go with this automotive embedded systems, that can be classified into two. The various type of electronic control units can be classified into two. The first one is high speed electronic control units. The other one is low speed electronic control units. Now, what I mean by this high speed control units is that now it should give an immediate reaction. If suppose my if I apply some anti-brake systems, that should be reflected immediately, right? So the steering controls, whatever we have, something like cruise control and all we have, that should also be having an immediate response to the user. And also the engine control should also be immediate. So that means what I'm telling is that if I perform some action, something, that should be performed within a fraction of seconds. That means there should be no delay at all. That kind of control units are called as high speed electronic control units. Now, coming to the next one, we call it as low speed electronic control units, where it means that even though I want to perform some action in my car, I press the button, it may take a minimum amount of time. There is no issue. That means if even though there is some delay in the response, that is not such a critical thing in my car. But in the other case, high speed electronic unit, so there the fast response should be very 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 fast in order to have my control on my car. That is what we call it as high speed electronic unit. In case of low speed electronic unit, so this response can be little bit delay, can have the little bit delay, right? So for an example, for a low speed is that audio controllers, passengers and driver door locks, door glass controls, wiper control, seat control system, headlamp, anti lamp, etc. So all these are all low speed electronic control units, where for these things I can have, I I do not want a very speed response. I can have a delayed response also for these kind of control units. Now coming to this automotive communication buses, as we know that we are using an embedded system. This embedded systems will be communicated, will be uh, connected to several input-output interfaces like our mirror to an wiper to our airbag or to anything, whatever it is. So now, when this control board wants to communicate to those kind of input-output devices, I should have some bus, correct? Buses. I should have a buses. So that buses, what I'm using here is I'm using a serial buses. So now what happens is that now this control unit will be connected to several input-output interfaces by using serial buses, right? So in order to connect different input output devices by using in serial buses, there should be some protocol or there should be some set of rules should be provided for between those two, between an embedded circuit and a input output device, so that they should have some certain rules or the protocols or in which way they want to communicate. For that we have some few applications for communication, that is what we call it as automotive communication buses. So we have some few applications like control area network, that is called as CAN, local interconnect network, that is LIN, and the next one is media oriented system transport most bus. So there are three kinds of application we are going to use. One is controller area network CAN, local interconnect network, and media oriented system transport. Let me go with one by one. Coming to the first one, CAN, that is control area network. Now, this kind of CAN will actually support this data rate up to 125 kbps. Okay, that is the minimum data rate, and it can go up to 1 mbps of data transfer. So wherever I require such kind of data rate, so there I can use the control area network. Actually, it was originally proposed by the Robert Bosch company. All right. Now, this CAN is called as an event-driven protocol interface with support of error handling in data transmission. Right? What I mean by event-driven protocol is that if I press any button, if I press the button of an AC, right? So that AC, that when I press it, that event is generated there. So that event will occur in an through an protocol to an AC interface. So this is how the CAN will be helpful in order to send the message or the signal through an serial bus from my controller unit to an AC motor. Now, this is generally employed in safety systems like airbag control, powertrain systems like engine control and anti-brake system, and also for navigation systems like GPS. Now, these are the ways I'll be using the CAN for my airbag control. Okay, event driven. What happens when airbag will get open? So when our car will get collided with several intensity, then only the airbag will open. That means when the car hits to some object or something else, the intensity in which it has been hit, that is one event. So when that event occurs, then the airbag will totally open. Right? So this is how we call it as an event driven protocol. And for these kind of event driven protocol, we use an CAN, controller area network. Now coming to the next one, local interconnect network. Now this is a bus, as I told you, these are all the serial bus. This is a bus is a single master, multiple slave. So only one master, multiple slave. Multiple slave means there is also a limitation. It can have some 16 slaves at a time. Okay, again this line LIN is also having some certain data rate. Will be having some around of 20 kilobits per second. Is normally used for sensors actuator interfacing. Okay, So we know that there are several sensors are used in the car. Almost all kind of embedded systems will work based on the sensor itself. Okay, now LIN bus follows the master communication triggering technique to eliminate the possible bus aberration problem. Okay, now this LIN bus is used for the master communication. So it is used for all kind of whatever the input output interfaces we are having. Most of the input output interfaces will use this local interconnect network. Now, where all these used in our cars, like the mirror controls, fan controls, seat positioning controls, window controls, and position controls. For all these things, we use LIN bus. Now, the next one is media oriented system transport. Now, what is this? We call in short as MOST. This MOST is used for the control of audio and video in our cars. Okay, so now this audio video, it is actually called as a multimedia, right? So this multimedia will be controlled sometimes by fiber optic point to point network implemented in a star or ring or daisy chain topology or optical fiber cables. So normally in this case of multimedia for audio and video, we need a little more fast communication we require in order to synchronize between our audio and video. So because of this, we try to use this fiber optic unit in my car. So this is where we are going to use this MOST bus. So now this MOST bus specification define the physical layer as well as the application layer, network layer, and a media access control. So all these layers will be present in our MOST protocol. As I told, this MOST is communicated by using the fiber cable. Now I can see here the MOST bus is an optical fiber cable connected between the electrical optical converter and the optical electrical converter, which would translate into optical cable MOST bus. Okay, so these are all the converters which are used in by the MOST bus. Why? Because sometimes what happens, some electrical signals will be there that should be converted into optical signals, or sometimes optical signals should become converted into electrical signals. So this is how, in case of MOST bus, we are can able to do it for especially for audio and video communication. Now, what are all the key players of the automotive embedded system market are? Now, what I mean by key players, the very important role players in our car. For these embedded systems, what are all the things it can be? The first thing is silicon providers. Now we'll discuss one by one what I mean by silicon providers and all. Next is tools, platform providers, and solution providers. Now coming to the first one, what I mean by silicon providers? Silicon providers is nothing but the chips who will manufacture the chips, right? Or who will manufacture that embedded board. Those are all called as silicon providers. So silicon providers are responsible for providing the necessary chips which are used in the control application development. Okay, the chip may be standard product like microcontroller or DSP or ADC or DAC chips. Now, for some application, our silicon may require specific chips and they are manufactured by application specific integrated chip. Okay, so in my car, either I can use a microcontroller or a DSP or an ADC or a DAC, or sometimes I may need some application specific integrated chip also. Now, this is where the silicon providers should will be come under this all these things which is required in our car. Now coming to tool and platform providers. Now these are all the manufacturers and suppliers of various kind of development tools and real-time embedded operating system for developing and debugging different control unit related applications. Okay, there are this can be classified in a two categories, namely embedded software application development tool and embedded hardware development tools. Okay, so some tools we require in terms of embedded hardware, some tools we require in terms of embedded software. For example, when I come across the GPS, now GPS is what? It is all controlled by our embedded software. Correct. Now coming to the embedded hardware, we use several hardwares like our Viper, our mirror control, our Windows control, whatever it is. All these are all embedded hardware development tools. Okay, what mechanisms? In what mechanism the Windows or the Viper will be controlled? That is what embedded hardware. But in case of GPS, we use this embedded software application. The next one is the solution providers. Now, normally what happens is that when there is some problem, there should be someone to provide the solution for that. So that is what exactly we call it as supply original equipment manufacturer and complete solution for automotive applications making use of chips, platform, and different development tools. Okay, if suppose I am facing for the when the car has been manufactured, the car will not be manufactured with the full extent of mechanisms. So later on, it goes on upgrading its versions. Correct. Now, the 2019, the car has been manufactured. Now, the manufacturers and the users may identify some of the disadvantage of the cars. So now, what happens? The manufacturers who are there will try to provide the solution for those disadvantages which has been observed by the manufacturer and the user. So somebody will come forward for that solution. Some company will come forward to give the solution for that. That is what we call it as solution providers.